Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be taking a look at all 8 of the brand new XRS racers, aka Extreme Racing Series or Mud Racing, whatever you want to call it. Now all of these are the first waves of them. There are 3 deluxes and 5 singles. And from left to right, I'm going to read them out loud. Kyle Weathers, Jackson Storm, RV, Miss Ritter, Lightning McQueen, A Petal, Cruz Ramirez, and Mater. I accidentally said Cruz over Mater first, but whatever. Anyway, I was able to pick these up at Walmart.com, all for decent price. I think it was like $40 in total for all of them. Something around there. I may be completely off, but I did not get it for pickup. I got it for delivery, and it arrived at my front door, and I'm super happy with these. Now, I must say, I didn't originally care for these too much when I first saw them, but they have really grown on me, and honestly, I like them more than I even expected. And not to mention, they actually have real suspension. So let's jump right into this review, shall we? Now, I think we're only going to go over one single and then one deluxe, because all of them are generally the same, except for the name tag name and then the car shown on the back. But here we have the normal packaging for them. This one is Cal. Well, it's the third Cal Weathers variation that ever released, behind the normal version and the Thomasville version. Mud Racing right there. XRS. I love how the card arts are actually the picture of the character that is going to be in the package, because for Thomasville and the Fireball Beach Racers, they just had a normal standard image of McQueen for every single one. Like, if you got Ryan inside Laney from the Thomasville, or not, from Fireball Beach, and then, like, Parker Breakson from the Thomasville, they still have McQueen on the art. They wouldn't have a unique art for that car with the design that they have in the diecast. But for these, they actually have it for every single one, which is absolutely fantastic. And I love how Mattel put the effort into doing that. Or Pixar, I should probably give the credit to. Here we have Disney Pixar real suspension. Like I said, they even put a hole on the top of the blister right there, so I guess you can kind of try it out in the store. This is really cool. Try me right there. We have a nice Faded Thunder Hollow board image that is like in the background right there. It's basically like a gray, black, and white cardboard, 3-and-up by Mattel. I really do like this name tag. It is pretty unique. And right there we have some more detailing on the sides of the blisters, like they had for the Thomasville with the wood. And I think for Fireball Beach Races, they had like sand and rock effects. I'm not exactly sure what this is supposed to be, but like, I don't know, probably like rubble or something like that. On the back, it shows you all the singles. Cruz Ramirez, A Petal, Jackson Storm, and Speedy Comet. Lightning McQueen is not on here. Now, you guys might be wondering, you didn't mention Speedy Comet. Where is he if he's on the back? Well, he is going to be a part of a wave 2, and there is supposed to be an XRS Next Gen leak list coming out as well. We have no information about that. I think it pretty much only appeared in a commercial or a promotional image or something like that, but Speedy Comet is the only one that's shown on any of the back of these that was not in Wave 1. He will be in Wave 2, so hopefully he does come out in the near future. We actually do have a little description for this series, which we did not get for Fireball Beach Racers or Thomasville Racers, which is awesome. And as you guys see, if they can put it up like that, the Extreme Racing Series, XRS, is a high-octane challenge that takes Lightning McQueen and his racing friends to a new level of competition. The first event of the series celebrates mud and mayhem at Thunder Hollow. Lightning and his fellow Piston Cup racers will learn the skills it takes to compete as extreme racers. Now, the fact that it says the first event of the series makes me think that there is going to be more than one event, obviously, for this series. So we could be seeing more mini-series coming in the near future, although I can't really take a guess on what they'd be, because they really did all the ones I feel like they could have done, because they done one related to the Demolition Derby, they done one related to the Thomasville, and they done one related to the Fireball Beach. I'm not sure what another mini-series would be, but you guys can take your guesses and ask your opinions in the comment section down below. And we're just going to take a look at one deluxe real quick, which is Mater. In my opinion, they should make a Thomasville Mater. They did one for the Fireball Beach Racers, and they did one for this one, so I figured why not do one for the Thomasville Racers. And right there, as you guys see, pretty much the same thing, except the thing is obviously enlarged. You got Mater right there. The name tag is longer than on the singles. And on the back right there, it shows all the other deluxes instead of all the other singles. We have RV, Miss Ritter, and Mater, and with the same description. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to unbox them as we go along here. And I think I'm gonna like randomize this right now. I think the first car we're gonna start off with is Cruz Ramirez. And then I'm going to unbox her, and then whatever the next randomized cars I pick will be the next one to review. But we are going to start off with our girl, Cruz Ramirez. Alright guys, so I got the first XRS racer here out of the package, and I must say, the XRS racers are absolutely stunning. These are fabulous diecasts, and I totally recommend them. And like I said, these definitely surprised my expectations. Like, my expectations for these were so low. I didn't really care for them at first. I thought it was just gonna be another, like, weird series. But this, honestly, is in one of my favorite series they ever done. It's so creative, and honestly, I take back everything I said about them at first. These guys are just absolutely incredible, and I hope to make a lot more than just Speedy, Comet, and possibly the next gen leak list. Nonetheless, though, let's get right into the review, and we're going to do a side-by-side comparison with Dinoco Cruz, and this is supposed to be like Dinoco Cruz, because you can see the 51 and the Dinoco on the edges of her spoiler. So we're going to do a side-by-side comparison right there. As guys, you see, they did change their expressions. Now, I believe they did change the expressions on every single one of these diecasts, except for Miss Ritter, which is absolutely amazing. As you guys see, this does show more personality in my opinion. Looks like her mouth expression, or the way her mouth is shaped, is the exact same, but they did change the position of her eyes, and for some reason I feel like her eyelashes also look a little bit thinner. These are China cars, not made in Thailand, and they have flat eyelids, the brown eyes, and she is looking up toward the sky, and that's a great expression in my opinion. Obviously, instead of Dinoco, we have an XRS logo, which stands for Extreme Racing Series. The X is in blue right there, and we have an amazing design. We have like the tire marks right there and some other splashes and all that stuff. 51 under, there are her headlights. She also has a little bit of the mud going like under her right there, which I think a lot have, so I love that detail. We have these huge black fenders right here, and they are really cool. And like I said, all of these have suspension. As you guys can see, you have to put them to the ground to get the suspension right there. As you can see, they can go up and down, which is absolutely amazing. It's like one of the things that make these diecasts so cool. Obviously, we have like this little like I'm just gonna call this like a side bumper. That's definitely not what it's called. I'm just gonna call it like a side bumper right here. Her side bumper is blue, the XRS logo once again. Her gas cap. For some reason, she does not have Dinoco on the spoiler, but as you guys can see on the card art right there. Oh my god, my camera almost fell. That would have been bad. Oh god, it's falling. Anyway, right there, as you guys see, it does say Dinoco on the spoiler right there. For some reason, the diecast doesn't show that, but that's a little strange, but nothing to worry about. And it looks like she actually doesn't have any contingency sponsors, and I feel like the reason why is because her additional sponsors are on the bottom right here, and maybe they are actually on her, but just like down there, but this thing is blocking. I'm not entirely sure about that. But anyway, that's pretty much it for Cruz Ramirez. You also have the back right there, and nonetheless, this is a great car. It looks great next to the normal Dinoco Cruz Ramirez, and honestly, her wheels changed, no longer light year tires, just the like huge muddy off-road tires. I think this looks pretty cool. Now on to the next one, which, let's see, which one should I do? Maybe we should go for a deluxe. I'm gonna go with RV. Let's go with RV for the second choice. And oh my god, a bunch of cars just fell. Alright, let's move on to RV. Alright guys, so here we have RV. I must say, he probably is the bounciest one out of any of these. It's probably because of his model and about the RV type and how he's like kind of like thin like that, you know. When he bounces up, he actually has like kind of like bounces up a little bit, as you guys can see. It's weird. Like if you show him the Cruz, like barely has that, but with RV, it's almost like a bobblehead or something. It's kind of weird, but it's kind of a nice little thing about him, and he's the only one who really does it like that. As you guys can see, he just bounces like that. It's kind of weird. Nonetheless, it's time to review into the normal RV. Now, my normal RV is a glossy finish. I never got the matte finish version because I didn't really care about it. I personally actually like the Demolition Derby cars with the glossy finish, even though it's sort of inaccurate. This one, though, of course, has matte finish, so the light doesn't reflect off the paint as good, or barely reflects off the paint at all. With this one, the light does. So, as you guys can see on the front right there, they did change his expression, and you guys see all like that little like gravel and all like the dirt and the dust around his mouth, like on the bottom right there. Looks like he does not like have that anymore. Looks like he cleaned it off or something, although he still has like that gray kind of like teeth design that goes around his normal teeth right there. You have the rings right there, which around his grill, which is supposed to be like a nose ring or something. It's kind of weird to think about, but one is like an orangish color, a yellow, pale yellow, something like that, and then like a light blue right there. Same on this one. It does have 3 lines right here, which might be other grills or something like that. And they did change his expression. This one I feel like he's looking more toward like off in the distance, or maybe a little bit higher up. This one he's looking straight, and there's nothing really to anything different. This looks to be like makeup, or almost with the black like shadow around his eyes. First, I mean, I kind of thought it was 2 black eyes or something, but it's probably just like makeup or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. Now on the side is where he really starts to get different. He still has his 00 number, but it's obviously a lot smaller, and it's put up toward the top so it can make room for his huge XRS logo right there, as you guys can see. And we do have the same kind of like snot green color in the background. The XRS is in red. Some have different colors, like I already mentioned. They did change his wheels right there, which is of course going to be different wheels. These are so ginormous. These are so small compared to those. And he has green right there, but I like how on the front they kept the design that this one had. They kind of had like that X going on right there. This one has like more of these, but they didn't add them to the back tires, which is a little strange in my opinion, but I'll go with it. Now this side, the 0 actually isn't on the top. They actually put it in between the 2 like silver fenders right there, so that's pretty interesting. On the top he does have a little like AC conditioner or something like that, and it has the XRS logo on it. It's pretty amazing. Now on the back right here, the 00 is nowhere on here. And he also does have more of the little like tire marks and design of the XRS on the back, which is pretty cool in my opinion. And everything else is pretty much the same, although it looks like he did take off his license plate. I can't read it, but it looks like he did take off his license plate, which is pretty interesting. But he still has all the little bumper stickers on his spare tire right there. So that's pretty much it for RV. I must say he's probably my least favorite one personally. It's not I don't like him. He's pretty cool, although I do feel like he's probably is my least favorite in my opinion out of all of these in the first wave of singles and deluxes. Alright, I think next I'm probably gonna go with Barry A Petal. I mean, he is like the only like racer in this wave 1 that's not a main character in the film, so I think we're gonna go with Barry A Petal next. Alright guys, so here we have Barry A Petal next, and like I said, he's the only racer released in Wave 1 that's not a main character, because of course you got Cal, Jackson, Lightning, and Cruz. They're all pretty much the main characters. Barry's the only one that's not. He was just a background next gen who barely spoke. Makes you question why they released him, although Speedy Comet, like I said, is coming out, and he's also another one of those non-main character racers, but I don't know, I feel like he was like random, like he was just like a random choice in my opinion, especially since the single version, or the regular version of him, as to say, it was never released as a single. It was only released in that next gen 4-pack that had 3 other new next gens, and he was new, and he still to this day has only been released in that gift pack. So I find it weird how people they're releasing him as a single. So like if you never got the next gen 4-pack, you'll have the XRS version but not the regular version. This one got released as a single before this one does. So it's kind of strange, but I mean, if you never got Barry A Petal, this will be the closest thing you'll get for a while now to the actual Barry A Petal, although it is extremely different. Although I'm sort of not complaining about him because he actually has a different color tone, and honestly, he just looks absolutely amazing, and it's pretty interesting, I must say. So we're gonna get right into the review of him. Starting from the front right there, his expression is actually different. He's actually smiling right there, and he looks super happy to be there. And I really do like this because, of course, all of the next gens pretty much have either like sad or mostly determined expressions. The only one I feel like who doesn't have a determined expression is Harvey Rockcop. He has like more of like a sad expression, but overall, all of them have like determined expressions except for Cruz, if you want to count her. So it's pretty interesting to actually see a next gen with a smiling face. It's a nice little change of pace right there. In my opinion, this expression looks a lot better, in my opinion. And right there, you can see his green eyes with the flat eyelids. Now, like I said, he has a different color tone. He doesn't even have purple anymore. This is blue, guys. Even in person, you can see the difference. So, well, on the camera, you can also see the difference. You can see this is definitely like more of a bluish color, and this is purple. So he did actually change the color tone, and personally, I think blue does look great on him. Right there we have the XRS logo. It's pretty much, it's like kind of smaller than I thought, but oh well. He still has like the orange U that kind of wraps around the hood right there. As you guys can see, he does not have any RPM logos on him except for the spoiler, I do believe. He still has his number 64 written on the top right there, and there's like more of like this almost like navy blue, I guess you could say, on the hood going toward the back. And I just noticed this white stripe right here, which is 3 small thin lines right there. It's a pretty cool design. I never noticed that in the normal Buried A Petal. I actually didn't notice that, so it's kind of cool. And he does have mud like around his little air vents right there. Like I said, a bunch of them have it on the bottom right there. There's his headlights. On the side is pretty interesting because he actually has the stock car sponsors and not the next gen sponsors. Because all next gens have the next gen sponsors, which are usually Combustor, Carbon, Cyber, and Synergy. But he has the normal stock car sponsors, which are Octane, Gain, RPM, Revolting, and Clutch Aid. So it's a little bit weird. And just let you guys know, all the cars that actually have the additional sponsors, they're in black and white. So it's pretty interesting right there. And let's just test out his suspension right there. I mean, he doesn't really have too much suspension. Definitely not as good as RV's in my opinion, but his suspension is still pretty cool. We also have the black fenders right there. And on the back, 64 RPM. And the cool little design right there is supposed to, I guess, resemble the design that's on the front of the hood right there. And he does keep the same spoiler. Nothing got removed from his spoiler, unlike Cruz, because the Dinoco got removed. He still has the RPM on the roof right there. He does have roof bars. The normal release did not have the blue roof. Or not roof bars, the window bars, so that's actually pretty cool. Now, if only he got re-released, so maybe they will put window bars on the back of him. And yeah, that's pretty much it for Buried A Petal as an XRS racer. And I just want to point out, all their bases are brown no matter what. And of course, he does not have lighter tires anymore. So far, I must say Buried A Petal is my favorite out of the 3 that we've unboxed. Cruz is the second, and RV is first so far, so we're gonna move this out the way and let's see which other car we should probably do next. You know what? We're gonna go with the big guns, and we're gonna bring out Miss Ritter. Now, hope he doesn't knock the car in front of her. And she doesn't. She is actually really heavy. When you get her, guys, you'll see how heavy she actually is in her packaging. She's the heaviest one out of all these, so this is definitely going to be pretty interesting. Alright, guys, so here we have Miss Ritter, and it's pretty cool about her because she was already crazy enough with her normal release because she was basically like a monster school bus, but now they made her even more crazier. And at least this one actually has the mud on her, which the normal one is supposed to have, because the normal one is actually pretty clean with no mud on it, which is obviously inaccurate to the movie. But this one actually does have like some mud detailing on it, which is absolutely amazing. Now, you know how I said I thought RV was the only one that had that bouncy effect? Well, apparently Miss Ritter does as well. As you guys can see, she does bounce up. I'll put them together so you guys can see. Like, they both bounce up. No one is higher than the other. They're pretty much the same. Makes me think that's just for deluxes. So, well, once we get to Mater, over there, we will see if he has that same bouncy effect due to him being that bigger size for the off-road racers. But nonetheless, let's compare it to the normal Miss Ritter. Now, I don't have the matte one just like RV. This is the glossy finished one. So let's go right into it. And like I said, she is actually the only one where they did not change her expression, which honestly is kind of unfortunate. I think it would be better if they did give Miss Ritter a different expression, but unfortunately they didn't. And as you guys see, she still has the chain that goes through her like little grill right there, through the little headlight, and it wraps around the top of her right there. She does have a nice black outline, and it is a big thick like black outline. They don't really do that with cars often. Obviously she's a school bus, and don't ask me how the school system works in the Cars universe, but I guess that just comes up to your own creative minds. And right there, as you can see, she still has Miss Ritter in the same spot. She still has like the black lines, but the 58 has been moved from the front to like behind the stop sign to the back right there. And XRS basically replaces all of her little mini license plates. And the license plates on the side right here, I believe she did take off all of her collectible license plates to put on the XRS logo. Hers is red. You still have this one logo that says Park Fire Lane. It's not a logo, it's probably like a sign she got stuck onto her. And she still has the stop sign. It is the bladed stop sign. Although one complaint I do have about it is, as you can see, this one, it can go back and forth like that very easily. Although this one, it barely comes out, and I have absolutely no clue why it does. It's probably something stopping it, but it can't go out all the way, and that's probably like one complaint about it. She still has like the kind of wrench designs on her mud tires right there. On the back right there, nothing too different actually. It actually looks pretty much the same, no detailing on the back. Now, I love the top of her right there. As you guys see, I have a giant XRS logo. On the normal version, it is just completely plain. Now, this logo just looks absolutely amazing. Honestly, you got her big plastic horns right there. And on the side right here, nothing too different. The 58 looks to be lowered a little bit. Just moved slightly. She does have the little like silver side bumper right there, and the fenders obviously like all of them have. And like I said, she does have more mud upsplash, which the normal one like pretty much should have, and the brown base as usual. So that's pretty much it for Miss Ritter. They basically had her crazy at first, but made her even more crazy, which is absolutely ridiculous. Now I think we'll move on to Jackson Storm, the rival of McQueen in Cars 3. I tricked you guys. I wasn't going to open it right now. I'm going to do it in another clip. Now, obviously, next up is Jackson Storm right here. And I must say, right off the bat, thank you so much, Mattel, for changing his expression. This expression got so boring so quickly. It's just a basic, like, determined, almost like mean expression. But this expression, this is what you call a true expression, guys. This is what you call a true expression on a diecast. This kind of still shows his personality, but it does show more character to it. His mouth is open, but it's almost like he's grinding his teeth right there, and his eyes are obviously more positioned, and it just looks so much better, and it is kind of matching the art that he does have on his card art. If you guys remember, it's almost like exactly like that. So I gotta applaud Mattel for that. Great job on that, Mattel. If only you can do that all the time. But I gotta hand it to them. This expression, honestly, is the best expression I think I can ever give a Jackson Storm. But right there, as you guys see, you have XRS right there with the mud tire like tracking right there in the back. XRS is in blue. He has his 2.0 under the XRS. He does not have Igniter on the hood anymore. Igniter is still on the spoiler right there, as you guys can see. Although, it actually looks like he made it a different like color or something. Or he made it a lot more darker, which I feel like the normal version should have. Because you can see Igniter, but it is like so faded. It like blends in with the normal black color. But right there, as you guys see, he does make it a little bit more darker, liquid adrenaline right there. And I do think that's how it should have been on the normal diecast. You do have his gas cap right there, which does have a nice orange trim around it. The huge XRS logo on the side completely takes up his classical S logo. His S logo is not even on his diecast anymore. It got completely removed. Right there we have the blue bumper right there, the side bumper, as I like to call it. Piston cup, combustor, carbon fiber, and synergy. Now, fun fact about A Petal, and I think this goes for all the other cars, they actually don't have piston cup as an additional sponsor, probably due to the fact that this has nothing to do with the piston cup, obviously. It's just a fun little event. Although Jackson Storm seems to have wanted to keep the piston cup logo on his side right there, and he does also still have the next gen sponsor. So I have no clue why Barry, as a stock car sponsor, for some reason they decided to have Jackson keep the next gen sponsors. I'm not entirely sure what's going on there, but oh well. And they are in gray and black, like I have previously mentioned. We always have his blue tinted windows right there, and he does have window bars on the back. He does have his signature on the side of his roof right there, and it is a different color. On the normal version, it is white, and the Storm kind of resembles the S that's on the side of him. This one right here, it says Jackson Storm, although I don't think the S resembles the one on the side. It might, actually. I can barely see that. Well, now that I'm looking at it, it might, but this one is a lot more like cramped, and I can barely tell. So I do kind of like this one better. But I do like the black color more. But I like how this one is a little bit more understandable to read, of course. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Jackson Storm. Here's the back. They did take off his rookie stripes, but he still does not have the Piston Cup Champion sticker on the sides, nor on the back bumper right there. Igniter, the taillights 2.0. Nothing too special in my opinion. But anyway, that's pretty much it for Jackson Storm. And before we let him go, this is how the suspension works. And on the back, he does have mud flaps. Now, I forgot to show for all the other ones their mud flaps. This one, like I said, he does have mud flaps. All the other ones have mud flaps as well. I just want to point that out. And anyway, that's pretty much it for Jackson Storm. We're probably going to go on to Cal Weathers now. I'm probably going to save the two main characters of the whole card franchise for last, McQueen and Mater. So let's go right into Cal Weathers, the only stock car who's so far been released in the series other than McQueen. Alright guys, so here we have Cal Weathers, and I'm going to say he's probably in my top 3 favorite of all of them. I just love this diecast, and I love anything Dinoco, of course. So let's go right into the review of him. Now, just like Jackson Storm, his expression is absolutely amazing. Once again, thank you so much, Mattel. This expression is so much better than the normal Cal Weathers expression. It's just like a passionate smile, but this one right here definitely shows a lot more expression to the character. You can even see his tongue and his teeth. His mouth is open and his eyes are in a different position. He looks determined to win. This is more like passionate and calm. It's just so amazing. Just like Jackson Storm, this is a fabulous expression for Cal Weathers. Once again, great job, Mattel. Those expressions just absolutely incredible and knocked it out of the park. Right there we have the headlights right there with his grill, which obviously represents a mustache. The mud splash on the little end right there. On the side, XRS is in red this time, and he removed the 42 and the Dinoco from the sides. He still has the 42 and the Dinoco on the back right there, and the back is actually just the same as the normal one. There's no XRS logos taken up anything. Now, one thing that's pretty interesting about this one, I saw it in my good friend Piston Cup Productions video. As you guys can see, this normal XRS racer actually says Hank Weathers, which is a little strange. And this one obviously says Cal Weathers. You guys don't know, Hank Weathers was the original name for Cal, but they scrapped that name and decided to name him Cal Weathers. And there were some original Cals from May 1st that said Hank Weathers, so I guess it was like a last minute change to change his name from Hank Weathers to Cal Weathers. So as you guys see right there, and I'm not sure if this is on all versions. I heard from somebody there is some with Cal Weathers on the side, but I'm not entirely sure. Although I don't no clue why this is there. Are you trying to tell me that they found a bunch of Hank Weathers in the factory and decided to make all the mud racing versions of him based off of that one or something? Is that how lazy they got? Either than that, or someone actually thought his name was Hank Weathers because they saw a diecast from May 1st and they have to be the stupidest Mattel employee to ever be an employee. That's probably not true. But yeah, enough about the rant about the little name on the side right there. He does have a red plastic bumper on both sides right there. And here's how his suspension works. Like I said, the singles, their suspensions aren't really that good. The deluxes are the ones that actually make them bounce a little bit. These are just pretty stable, you know, but they do go up and down. It kind of reminds me of the Precision Series single Ramon with his hydraulics, although he doesn't go up and down like that. You have to force him to go down because his tires, they pop up like that, and you can change the positions. These are different types of suspensions and hydraulics. So that's pretty much it for Cal Weathers. I would personally love to see Bobby Swift and Brick Yardley in this series. I feel like that would be really cool. You guys already know we gotta save our boy Lightning McQueen for last, so you pretty much already know who the next one is, Mater, who is the last deluxe, and probably will be the last deluxe personally for this series. I don't think there will be a wave 2, and if there ever is a wave 2, my prediction for it is probably Mr. Drippy or Dr. Dammit. Alright guys, so I got the off-road Raider here out of the package. Now, fun fact before we get into this, I am actually recording this actually about a week since the last recording when I unboxed Raider. I know. I feel like that was probably the longest I've ever waited in between clips to get a vid done, but I was literally so busy all week and I didn't even have time to finish the video until now. So I'm literally picking up this video a week after, and I already rewatched all my clips, so I can get the feel of it. So let's get right into this. Now, unfortunately, my mud racing Mater right here, as you guys see, he has a ginormous, obvious, noticeable chip right there. Almost like his teeth is peeling off right there. You can kind of see it right there. It's a little bit unfortunate, but I guess I can just try to imagine it as it's just something stuck in Mater's teeth or something, but it is kind of annoying. It does kind of bug me. But right there, on the bright side though, his expression is different. You can see that he is a lot more happier, and it shows more personality to him, I guess. This one's also happy, but I feel like this one shows a lot more character, and obviously he is hoisted up a lot more due to his off-road tires. These are just normal, regular tires right there. And he is still rusty and stuff. He didn't change anything about him. He's still rusty. Obviously, he has the XRS logo on the side right there. His X appears to be orange right there with the nice tread marks on the back, tire marks. Looks really neat, although he probably is the least detailed or the least changeable out of all of them, since he doesn't really have, and he's not obviously a piston cup racer, so he's not going to have like piston cup sponsors on the side of him. So there really wasn't much. Really, the only thing they did was add his XRS logo on the side in terms of his paint scheme. I feel like out of all of them, he's the one who changed the least. But honestly, I don't think he's my least favorite despite that. I think he's still pretty cool. And you can see his rear view mirrors right there. He doesn't have a back window, unfortunately, which all the Maters should have. I do think the Precision Series one does. I'm not sure if it's the set version or the single version or both, but I know at least one of them does have like a back window shown on the back. No working tow cable, obviously. The only thing that's supposed to be like working on these is their suspensions. And now, for some reason, with all the deluxes, they can actually bounce up like that, and it's almost like bobbleheads. Miss Ritter can do the same. And I already explained it with RV, I do believe. And as you can see, they all bobble up. The singles don't do that, I guess, because these are bigger. They have the more ability to do that. And all we have left to show is the back of him, which really is nothing different. Like, if I covered that, I'm going to show this. They generally do look like it's just another version of normal Mater and have, like, 2 normal Maters. And there is his mud flaps as well. So now we're getting on to the last, but definitely not least, the star of the whole Cars franchise, Lightning McQueen. So let's get straight into unboxing him, shall we? Alright guys, I know this is turning out to be a very long video, but we are on the last car right now, and that is our boy Lightning McQueen. Now I did bring out 2 other pretty main versions of McQueen to compare to along the way, but for now we're just going to compare him to the very generic Cars 3 Lightning McQueen. So as you guys see, his expression is different from both of those versions as well. It almost looks like he's like super confident, or he's just trying to take like pictures or something for fans, you know, something along those lines. I really do like this expression. Not my favorite McQueen expression, but it's decent, I guess. We have the blue eyes with the flat eyelids, his headlights right there, 95. You can see his mud on the bottom of him right there, very nice detailing. Now all of these are made in China, as you guys see on the bottom right there. All of these are made in China, and they all have the nice like chrome, like reflecting, not really chrome, but the shiny reflecting surface off of their body, which I always love to see in these on the cars. You can see the light reflect off the paint. Always love to see that. Now, what I really do like about McQueen is that his back is actually completely a different color right there. Like, this whole back is a completely different color. It's more like this very, like, pale yellow, I guess you can say. And as you guys see, his XRS logo is actually unique from the others, because his actually is orange on the top, and then it fades down to yellow on the bottom right there, which is kind of like what his lightning bolt does on the normal version. As you guys can see, it goes into orange, and then as you go down to the actual lightning bolt like strike thing, it fades into yellow. So I love that detailing on the X. That definitely was not like unintentional. They had like pretty much had to do that because of that. Like, it's too much of a connection, you know? Like, it has to be true. Now, the mud flaps right there, his fenders, of course, and here is his suspension right there. As you guys can see, he does suspend very well. And he has his traditional piston cup sponsors, although obviously piston cup has been removed from him. Octane gain, RPM revolting, and clutch aid though. 95, and the gas cap. Nothing really on the back right there. He did remove his rusties and medicated bumper ointments from the back of him. As you guys can see, all the other McQueens pretty much had that. He just removed them. And 95 right there is in a different font. This one has the yellow and orange. This one is just generic black right there. So yeah, McQueen probably is one of my personal favorites. He's probably up there with like Cal Weathers in my opinion. And obviously you have to have McQueen in the series. Like, Mattel was like, I mean, it's pretty much a monster for Mattel not to put McQueen in one of these mini-series, and I'm pretty sure a bunch of fans would complain, and they always and forever will put McQueen in these series, and really, I don't think any of us are complaining, because all of us love Lightning McQueen. Now, one thing that's pretty interesting, now, I don't really think he is the Cars 3 model of McQueen, nor is he the Cars 1 model of McQueen. Like, if you compare him, it almost looks like he's, like, a mixture of between them. Like, he's in between. Like, he's half Cars 1 and half Cars 3. Like, if you combine them, that's what you get from this McQueen. Honestly, I think this McQueen model looks the best. I think it looks more accurate to the movie, I guess you could say, but I feel like this McQueen model is like a mixture of these two models. It's pretty weird, interesting, but kind of, cool at the same time, you know? Alright, so for all of you guys who made it through this very long video, congratulations, you made it to the end. That's pretty much it for all of them. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What you think of this series? Do you think it was forced, or do you like them, or you're not going to buy them? And also, which one do you think is the best looking from this series? Personally, I think either Cal or McQueen are my favorites from this series. I don't know, I just really like when they put the stock cars in these series. I just think they just look absolutely amazing. Anyway, that's pretty much going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like on this video if you haven't done so already. It does show your amazing support for the channel, and also consider subscribing for more cars content. I'll see you guys all next time in the next video. Peace out, and see you later, fam.